Selma Teacher 7, Mr. Barry here. This is lesson number 9 for the Computer Literacy course. And today we're going to be learning how to install Microsoft Office, that is Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint right into your Google account so you'll be able to use it on your Chromebook. Now we'll also be comparing Microsoft Office with Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides and seeing some of the features and seeing how those are different. So let's get started with the lesson. We have been using Google Docs so far in all of our lessons. We have discovered that Google Docs can open, edit, and save Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files in the Microsoft Office format without losing any of your information. So the benefits of Google Docs are many. Now in lesson number 9, I'm going to show you how to install Microsoft Office right into your Google account so that you'll be able to use these apps as well. There are a few features that are different within Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides from Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, which are highlighted in this table. So the first element that we see in this table is works offline. Google Docs actually works offline. I do have videos and steps to show you how you can get to your Google Drive. Once you're in your Google Drive, go to Settings and then click on Enable Offline Support, and you can use all of your files offline. Now, it does open up Microsoft Word files too offline, so Google Docs does work offline. Does Microsoft Word app, does that work offline, the free version that we're using? The answer is no, it does not. The next item that we see is WordArt. Google Docs does have WordArt. You simply click on Insert, Drawing, and then New, and then go to Actions, and then in Actions, go all the way down there to see WordArt, click on WordArt, and there you have WordArt. We can actually do a lot of work there with your words, and it's beautiful. It's just like the older version of Microsoft Word's WordArt. Now, unfortunately, for the online version of Word, it doesn't have WordArt. They took that feature off, and there is a way to get that if you actually pay for the premium version. Or there's another way too. You can go to cooltext.com, create your WordArt there, and simply copy it and paste it into your document. So there are many ways around getting WordArt, even though Microsoft Word's the online version doesn't have it. Next, we have Has Add-ons. Now, both of these have add-ons, which is great. This is like if you want to do a mail merge, that is, merge a address book with a letter, and you can actually do that with mail merge, and that's all within the add-ons. Next thing that we have is, can it save Microsoft Word format? And the answer is yes on both of these. Now for Google Docs, you simply go to File, Download As, and then click on Microsoft Word, and it'll save it as a Microsoft Word document that you can share it with other people who are using only Microsoft Word. Now, of course, Microsoft Word saves its own documents in its own format. The next one that we have is, can it open up Word documents? And Google Docs can open up Word documents. So if you've saved any Word documents in your Google Drive, or maybe you've saved them onto a thumb drive and you have plugged that into your Chromebook, yes, you can open up those files with Google Docs. And the answer is yes, of course you can open those documents again in Microsoft Word. The next feature that we have is Voice to Type. And that's one of my favorite features. That's basically where you're speaking into your microphone and it types up the words for you. You don't have to use your keyboard. And Google Docs has that. Simply go to Tools. From Tools, go to Voice Typing. Click it and begin typing and dictating your letter into your document. Now, Microsoft Word has this feature as well. It's called Dictate, and it's great. It's a wonderful feature to have, and I use it on both of these every day. And our last one that we have there is Cost. Both of these are free. Now, for the Google Docs, it actually has all the features there for free. For the Microsoft Word, it's basically just the free online version. It's a basic version. Now, you can't upgrade to what's called a premium version if you want to, and that has a cost to it, a subscription to it that you can go into and have if you need WordArt and some of these other features in the Microsoft Word app. Now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to open up both of these apps and look at them side by side. So at the top we see Google Docs, and down here we see Microsoft Word. If I click on File, you notice that I can go in and share it, create a new type of document, open an existing document, and there's where I can actually open up Microsoft Word documents as well, make a copy. I can download it as a Microsoft Word document or even as a PDF. I usually use this right here, the PDF. Make available offline. That would be important if you know that you're going to be working with a document offline. You can rename it, move to trash, publish it to the web, change the language. And then of course we have page setup and print. Now if I go down to Microsoft Word, click on File, here you can notice that we have Info, New, Open, Save it as, and then if I go here, that's where I can download a copy. There I do have the option to save it as a PDF as well, print it, share it, and about that document. Under the Edit, that's where I can go undo, redo, as well as a host of other options there, such as I usually use the Find and Replace as well. For the Home, for Microsoft Word, there's my Undo, there's my Clipboard or Paste from Clipboard, Format Painter, and then I have my other options there, such as my font style or name, font size, increase the font size, decrease the font size, bold, italics, underline, highlight color, font color, as well as clear formatting. Here's more options for my font, and here's where I can add bullets, numbering. I can change my indents, change the alignment. This is the type of text, normal or titles, and then I have other types here. I can find and replace, dictate, editor. Now for these, they're found up here in tools and other places, so they're found in different areas, but I do have undo, redo, print. There's my spelling and grammar, paint format, zoom. There's my same as normal text. There's my font style, so I have many different types of fonts there. Font size, bold, italics, underline, my text color, my highlight color, insert a link or hyperlink, and then add comments. I can insert image, and here's where I have my alignments. I have my line spacing, my numbered list, bullets, indents, and then I also have clear formatting. For tools, that's where we find our all important voice typing. That's called the dictate down here, so it's called voice typing up here. I can also translate the document, and you see the other tools that we have there. Format, where I can change the format of the text, paragraph, alignment, lines, columns, which I use sometimes, bullets and numbering, headers, footers, page numbers, as well as others here. If I want to insert something such as an image, a table, or a drawing such as a word art drawing, I can find all that under the insert. Other things I can do is I can insert a chart, and then I have special characters, equations, headers and footers, numbers, and the others, page numbers, and others that we see here. For view, this is different view modes for my document, such as if I want to hide the ruler, show the ruler, and other things that we see there. Now back to Microsoft Word, we have insert, where I can insert again table, picture, hyperlink, comments, header, footer, page numbers, symbols, emoji, and add-ons. For my layout, I can change my margins. Now page layout is found in File for my Google Docs, and then Page Setup. So this is where I can find my margins as well as my orientation. When I go into Microsoft Word, it's found under just Layout, and that's where you can find your orientation, margins, as well as other settings for your page. I have references where I can table of contents, insert a footnote, insert endnote, or search. Review, where I can review, such as doing spelling and grammar checks of my document. And then I also have the view, and then of course help. Now going back to Google Docs, I do have the exact same tools as what we just saw. If I go into Tools, you notice there's my other tools I have there, such as Explorer, Dictionary, and also Preferences, other things that are found in the Review category down here in Microsoft Word. So as far as features and tools, they're basically very equal on the standing. Difference being is I can go to Insert and then down to Drawing and New, and then go Actions, and then there's my word art. I can insert all kinds of word art from there. And then Microsoft Word has a quick and easy way to insert emojis, which it's a little bit harder to find here. You actually can find emojis by using the Chromebook settings. And I made a video of that too. Just go ahead and look at the top there if you want to click there and find the emojis on your Chromebook. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to install Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint right onto your Google account so you'll be able to use them on your Chromebook. So in order to install Microsoft Word, go down here to the App Launcher, click it, and then look for the Web Store. Now here we see it, it's right here, this very first option. If you don't see it there, you can always click in here and type in Web Store and you'll find it for you. Once you find it, go ahead and click on it, and it comes up here to the Chrome Web Store. Now what we're going to do is, if I type in the word Office, hit enter once, then it brings up the extensions. Now if you're using a Windows computer, this is the one extension that all you need right here. It's called the Office extension offered by Microsoft. So that's what you do if you have a Windows machine. If we have a Chromebook, you can put this on a Chromebook as well, but I've actually found it just easier to go all the way down. And what we're going to do is we're going to install Microsoft Word right here. Now Microsoft Word is offered by Microsoft Live. And notice that we can have Excel, PowerPoint, but you can actually find all of the applications when you install just one of them. So I'm going to click on Word. Now if you want this, what we're going to need to do is we need to go in, click on Add to Chrome, and then Add App. Now Microsoft Word has been added to your Google account. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to open it up. So in order to open it, click down here on your launcher, and it should be here at the very top since you just installed it. But let's say you didn't see it there. You click on the caret, go down the list until you see Microsoft Word, and there's Word Online. That's it. Go ahead and click it. Now if you have not logged into your Microsoft account on your Chromebook before, it will ask you to log into your Microsoft account. If you haven't done that, or if you don't have a Microsoft account, they're free. Just click on Create New Account and follow the prompts there to add a free Microsoft account. Once you've done that, which only takes about 2 minutes, here you are. You found Microsoft Word. Now, I've been working with Microsoft Word for years and years, so actually recent documents will be found here. But if you wanted to create a new blank document, it's right here. And notice we also have Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and then the OneDrive. The OneDrive is the one place where you can actually store your files, even images and other things there online in your Microsoft account. So everything works as long as you're logged into your Microsoft account. Down here is OneNote, Forms, To-Do List, Family Safety, Calendar, and Skype. What we're going to do is we're going to open up a new blank Word document. And you'll notice the icon down here on your shelf. This is the Microsoft Word icon. And then up here, you have actually opened up Microsoft Word. If I go into File, this is where I can see my recently worked on Microsoft Word documents. These are all found in my Microsoft OneDrive. So we already saw these lists before, but it's the same here. This is the Home banner. We find the bold, italics, underline, and other font formats, and other tools for formatting my font. Down here is my insert, where I can insert picture, a table, comments, header, footers, page numbers, and other things. Layout, that's my page setup, where I can change my orientation, margins, paper size, and do other work with my indents. And there's my reference, review, and there's translate, by the way, for those who wanted to know where the language translator was. It's under review. Here's my view options, and of course the all-important help. So if there's any feature that you're lacking that you don't see, you can always click on help there and then do a search for the item that you need. Now, let's say that the item that you needed or the feature that you needed really did not exist in this free version. You can click up here into the upper corner and notice right there it says Go Premium. Over here on the left hand side, you notice that we have the app launcher for Microsoft products. So there's all the Microsoft products there. And if you click there, you actually see more apps. So there's a long list of Microsoft apps. And our next topic is Microsoft's OneDrive. Now the amazing thing is when you install any of those apps, Microsoft Office or even just the Word, when you have this new little icon up in the top corner when you're inside the app. And what this will do is you can click it and then see all the other apps that are offered by Microsoft. And these are free applications. You have the choice to upgrade them to what's called the premium or subscription notice as well. But I'm just going to go with just the free versions to show you what you get for free. And what I'm going to do is click on OneDrive, and this is OneDrive here. So the way OneDrive is set up is you'll notice it says OneDrive in the top left hand corner, and then you can search. So if you had a document, let's say you're looking for lesson number 12, you just type in there lesson 12 and it'll come up there. So there's all my lesson 12s. Let's go back to my files, and this again is kind of like your home page for your OneDrive. Over here the diamond is your premium, where you can actually upgrade to premium and have different choices for either subscription, or you can have more space as well within your OneDrive. So you can upgrade to 1 terabyte very easily, but you will be paying monthly for that service. If I go into settings, here's my options. So I click on options. You notice it shows how much you're using. I'm using, of course, the free one for 5 gigs. Shows me options to upgrade, and there are such things as redeem codes that you can actually find online. And if you find one, you can just simply click right there and then key in that code or copy in that code, and you can get free upgrades. So there are free upgrades out there if you Google it, which is pretty neat, and you can get referral bonuses that way as well. Here's where up here in the top corner we see plans upgrades, office file formats, personal vault, photos, tagging, notifications, device upgrades, device backups, restore your OneDrive, and even search. Alright, let's go back to my files there. Right here, if I click on recent, this now lists all my documents, and the ones up on top of the ones I worked with most recently, and the older ones are further down the list. If I click on photos, now it comes up to all my photos, and the ones I worked with most recently come up at the top. You see here some of my work with my green screen is there. All my work is there. Going back to shared, if I've shared anything, it comes up here. So here I'm sharing different items with different people. And then if you've deleted anything, it'll always land in the recycle bin. Going back to my files, you notice that you have the folders are at the top there, and those are automatically created, but it is possible to create your own folders as well. Anytime you have anything saved in there, you have a number there. So here in my photographs or pictures, you see it says 217. That means there's 217 images inside that folder. So if you click it there, it opens up and there's my photos, and they're organized by their date. So you can go down the list and actually see my pictures. When you wish to go back, simply use the shortcut Alt and left arrow key. That'll take you to previously viewed folders. If you want to go forward, it's Alt and the right arrow key. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the app launcher, and the next one I'm going to go with is the Outlook. Now the Outlook is email. Now it's Microsoft Mail, and it's totally free. It is possible to bring in other mail from other domains such as Yahoo Mail and your Gmail, so you can have it all checked in one spot if you want to. But here we have Outlook, and when you create your Microsoft account, you automatically get an email account there, and this is free. If If you look over here, you can see your different folders on the left hand side, such as your inbox, archive, drafts, sent items, and your favorites there. So all this is stored there. And if you notice right now, I'm inside my inbox. The icons up in the upper right hand corner, this is Skype, My Day, settings for your email, help, and then what's new. So to read any of these emails, simply click on the mail, it opens up, and then you're able to click on reply that you see up here that I'm not hiding, and you can reply to the sender. I'm now going to go back to the apps here, and let's click on Excel. So now here you always have recently worked on items right here. So what I'm going to do is notice that you do have these templates here. If you wanted more different types of templates, you click on here for more templates. I'm just going to go with a blank workbook right here, and in a moment or two it opens up. What I'm going to do is go over the features real quick and actually create a workbook. And first off, here is file. So here's the recent work. You can go new, and here's your templates again will be loading. You can save it as, you can download it in different formats or rename it. You can print it out, you can share it with others, or you can actually go about Microsoft there, Microsoft Office. What I'm going to do is hide that. This is my home banner, the undo redo. So if you make a mistake, you click on undo. Cut, copy, paste options are there. We call that the clipboard. My font options are here, so I can format my font, change the way it looks. I can change my alignment. There's my merge and center, which are the same tools that we have in Google Sheets. I can wrap my text. I can change the numbering there for my cells. I have my table options, cell options, and editing options, such as my auto sum that I'll be using today. I'm going to click on insert, and notice you can insert a function, table, pivot table. I have illustrations, and I have different charts available, different links such as a hyperlink, and I can insert comments, which is really beneficial if you're sharing this with other people. Formulas, there's my formulas I can do. There's my data, where I can sort my data, and later when we're actually doing the projects within this application or within Google Sheets, we'll be using the sort ascending, sort descending, so we'll be doing a lot with the sort and filter options that you see here. Review, of course, that's when I check my spelling, and then I can go view, and that's where I have different options to view. One thing that people ask is, well, why do I have a reading view? Well, perhaps you've already created the workbook and you're sharing it with someone, and then that person doesn't want to change a cell or any numbers in there by accident. They would click on reading view, and that way they can read it without accidentally changing the data. Then we have help, which is real important there. Now I'm going to go and click on home, and I'm going to actually create a workbook. So I'm going to highlight from A1 to M1. I'm going to click on merge and center. I'm going to change my font here, make it nice and large, and I'm going to change my font color, and I'm going to type in there Mr. Barry's workbook. There we go. Hit the enter key once and you're done with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the months of the year, or actually I'm going to go down one here and type in January. Now after you type in January, you'll notice you have this small little square in the lower right hand corner of that cell. Take your mouse and float over that square. Your mouse pointer will change into that cross. Hold your mouse pointer down and then drag it straight down, and you'll notice that you can put in the months of the year. So it's easy to do that. I can drag it across and make it a little bit wider for my cell. The exact same tools that you can find in Google Sheets. So we'll be learning how to do all of that again. And so you have the months of the year. Again, if you wanted to do that, you just type in any month of the year, click it, you'll take your mouse, go to the lower corner. When it turns across, drag it down, let go, and you got another year. So it's easy to do. If you make a mistake, just click on undo and it takes it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another row here. So I'm going to right click the second row, number 2, say insert row, and I got another row here. So now I'm going to type in bill number 1. So I can bill number 1 there. If I want to drag this across, now I have let's say 4 different bills, and I'm going to have the word total, and I'm going to be putting in numbers. So let's put in some amounts here. And so I'm just putting in numbers there for numbers, and it does have to be numbers. So if you put in words, it won't add up words, obviously. Okay, now for these other bills, let's say that these bills are the same amount. So let's say for 69.99, let's say I have my internet bill. And if you want that repeated, just take your mouse, go to the lower corner, drag that straight down, and you got it all the way down the same amount. Let's do another bill. Let's say my electric bill per month there. Let's drag that down. And let's say I have my water bill. Living in California, your water bill is a little bit high. So there we go, it's about the same. And now, let's say you want the total for each month for these different bills, these 4 different bills. What you gotta do is click on the cell where you want the total to be, click on auto sum, hit the enter key once, and it gives you the total. Now if you want all these to be in dollars, highlight your cells, click on the dollar amount. Now it's all in dollars. And if you want the total to be repeated, just take that, drag it down, and look at that. And now you see each month's total is added up there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the A there, and I want this text to be changed a little bit. So I'm going to click on a different color. Maybe I want this to be brown and in bold. So there you go, there's the months. Now they're standing out a little bit better. Maybe I want my totals here to be bold so they stand out. There you go. So now it's easy to change your cells simply by highlighting them. And you can click on the row or the column to highlight everything, and you can choose a different color. So for the labels here, I'm going to change it to a different color. I want these to be a nice dark green. So that's how you make a workbook really quickly in Microsoft Excel. Now the nice thing is you can actually do the exact same thing with Google Sheets, and you can make multiple workbooks and actually share them across the 2 apps. Let's now jump into the next app here. So I'm going to now go into PowerPoint. So clicking on PowerPoint, you can see that I've worked on different presentations in the past. What I'm going to do is just create a blank one here, blank presentation. And it opens up to a blank presentation. Let's give this a title, and let's call this one Threes Company. Threes Company, and the subtitle by Daniel Barry. There we go. And so you have that. Now let's say that I want to change the background design. Just click on Design, and let's choose a nice colorful design there. There we go. Threes Company by Daniel Barry. If you wanted to insert an image, you can do that very easily by going Insert Picture, and then let's say you want to use a stock image. There you go. We'll just click on one, insert it, and you can drag it where you want that picture to be. Now with presentations, it's kind of nice to work with because it has what's called animations. And so you're going to click on one, like the title, and then click on Animations, and I want this to fly in. And notice if you click on this little arrow, you have many different options here. So maybe I want this one to zoom in. For my subtitle where it says by Daniel Barry, let's change that animation too. So maybe I want that one to fly in, and maybe I want that one to go in and say random bars. And then for the image, let's have that one see, let's have that one expand. Okay, now to present this, click on Present. And then to do these animations, simply click on your mouse clicker. And there's Three's Company by Daniel Berry, and the image expands out. Perfect. Click again and it ends it. Now if you like that slide, let's go ahead and insert a second one. So we go Insert, New Slide, and you choose the type of slide that you want. So let's choose title and content, and then you begin adding your text and images. You can also include shapes, other icons, smart art, and this is the exact same application that you see, or the same features that you see in Google Slides. And we'll be working with these applications there in the upcoming weeks for the classes. So if you're taking my classes, they'll be in the later lessons, like lessons 14, 13, and 16, we'll be covering PowerPoint and Google Slides in that area. Let's click on the App Launcher again and see what else we have. We have the OneNote. Now the OneNote is kind of nice. It's kind of like a way for you to take your notes and put into one place, and your ideas, I should say, and put it in one area there. So if you have here, I have my notes, and it's a way for you to actually, if you wanted to, quickly write up notes, ideas for a project. Maybe you're a student at school and you're brainstorming. You can use this notebook and share it with other students, and then you can brainstorm ideas. You can actually go in and draw different things in here too. So if you wanted to draw something there and say, well, this is here a rock or something, whatever you want to do, and so you can do whatever you have for your brainstorming session and do that. So it is actually easy to work with this, and it is a way for sharing ideas quickly, and that's all about OneNote. Let's go back to the apps here, and let's go now to the next one, Forms. Now Forms is great if you're in a business or if you're an instructor like I am. So with Forms, I'm using Google Forms, and where I make tests and quizzes. Basically all you got to do is click on Quiz if you're a teacher, and then click on New Questions, and you can actually put in your questions there for that. If you're doing a survey, perhaps you're a business owner and you want to send a survey out to your customers, click on Survey, and you can add different questions there by keying in your questions. It's very easy to do. Here for your event, if you had an event going on, maybe you have an event where you want to share information with others, then event registration is great to do. And then we have a course evaluation survey. That's where you have that, and you also have templates and more templates found there. So I have used this quite often to create forms and quizzes that I share with my students. But I'm using Google Forms, but it's built exactly the same way as this and has the same features. Alright, so you get that free there. And the next thing we have there is the to-do list. Now the to-do list, you can link this to your cell phone or to your other devices, and you can add a day or add important notes or important to-do list. And you notice here you have different categories such as shopping and grocery. So you can add a new list and then simply add what you want in there, share it with your cell phone, and then when you're shopping, you'll see the list of the items that you want to buy at the store. Because if you're like me, when you go through that front door, I tend to forget everything there. Next we have the family safety. Now I'm not going to click on the family safety one, but the family safety is basically one place you go to and you'll see all of your family's email and other contact information, and you can actually send money from one person to the other. So if you needed to send money to your son, maybe he's overseas doing a trip, or maybe he's in the military, then what you can do is you can go in and click on Family Safety, click on his name, and then you actually are able to send money there once these are linked to your bank accounts. Next is Calendar, and in Calendar we have different events. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on a day, and then we're going to click on new event to show you how to add an event to your calendar. First thing you want to do is you want to click on add a title. So I'm going to say shopping. Once you click on shopping there, you click on a time. So maybe you want to start there at 10 o'clock, and it's going to be there to maybe 2 o'clock. And maybe you want to go to a particular location. So you can actually type in a location, type where you want to go by simply clicking on it, and it will go there. Now it can remind you different timings. So this is 15 minutes before you leave, or let's do it 30 minutes so you get all ready, get your bags and everything ready, get your list, and then if you're happy with that, click on save, and it'll save it for you. So it saves everything there for you. Okay, the next thing that you want to do is, you notice it says My Calendar, so you can actually create multiple calendars. You can have a work calendar, you can have a personal calendar, or a family calendar, and you can have all that set up. Notice here you have a birthday calendar that I've set up where it has all the family birthdays already set up for me. Okay, I'm going to go into the app launcher, and the next thing that we have there is we can do a Skype, and that's basically like a video conference. So if you wanted to call someone or do a Skype session, like a video session with another family member or another friend, you click on Skype and then put in their account information, such as their email address, and then it would contact that person, and you can do a video call with them. If you click on all apps, you notice it opens up to all the other apps that you can have here, which there are many. So that was Microsoft's Office there, and you remember you get this all free when you add any of these applications. So when you add the Word or Excel or any of those onto your Google account, you have access to all of these. They do require you to have that Microsoft account, but that's free. It takes maybe about 2 minutes for you to create that account. Basically, you're going to be putting in an email address, creating a password, and you could turn on two-step verification. If you do that, it takes about 30 or 40 seconds longer, and that's where you're going to be adding a phone number, and then it will call that cell phone, and you have to click on accept and verify that that is a real cell phone. You can also include different emails to it to have more security, to add more security to your account. And that's highly recommended there within your Microsoft account, is to have two-step verification. The next topic that we're going to be covering is using your flash drives. Working with USB and flash external drives. USB thumb flash or jump drives are small external drives which can store your data, music, pictures, or even movies. How do they work? Well, a USB drive receives its power from the computer via the USB port. The memory chips within the USB drive keep the information stored on them even when they're not plugged into the computer, because the drives have small capacitors which store enough energy to keep them running for months at a time. And here's a simple diagram. So here we see the inside of a typical USB drive. We have the memory chips, capacitors, and the USB connector. So how do you use a USB drives? USB drives connect to any PC that has USB ports. Most PCs have at least 2 USB ports in the front, 2 more in the back. To use the USB drive, simply plug the drive into any free USB port while the computer is on. After doing this, you should notice a new window open in front of your work. Click on Open Folder to view files and OK, as you're seeing here. So if you're using a Chromebook, you'll get a message like this. If you're using a Windows computer, you'll get a message like this. Once you've clicked on Open Folder to view files within the Windows or Open Files app within the Chrome OS and click OK, then you will see a new window open. And this is what we're seeing here. Now the new window showing the contents of the drive, it opens up and it looks like this. The windows are divided into 3 main parts. You have the tools, which are normally at the very top, the computers folders, which are on the left pane, and the view within the selected folders or the drive is on the right pane. To move files from place to place, simply drag and drop them where you want them to be. You will see a small window open showing how much time it will take to copy the selected files. In this way, you can move individual files or whole folders. Next, transfer speeds of USB ports vary considerably. To demonstrate this, I have added this table. So there you see I have different version numbers, starting with version 1, 1.1, then going to version 2, version 3, and 3.1. Then below that we have the name. So we have low speed, full speed, high speed, super speed, and then super speed plus for the 3.1 version. Now the year introduced was 1996 for version 1, 1998 for 1.1, 2000 for version 2. In 2008 we got the super speed, and then in 2014 we got the 3.1 super speed plus. And what are those speeds? Well, 1.4 megabits per second, 12 megabits per second, 480 megabits per second, and then 5,000 megabits per second, and then 10,000 megabits per second, as you see in my table there. Now, the comparative speed, so let's say that we'll go to 1.1, that's version 1.1 there, came out in 1998. Let's say that's speed of 1. How much faster is the fastest one there at 3.1? Well, it's 833 times faster. So if you had a file, it transfers it 833 times faster. So it's amazing how fast the technology has come about. And our next topic that we have is how to safely remove a USB thumb drive from your computers. USB drives need to be ejected before unplugging them, otherwise data on the device might be lost. On a Windows PC, this can be done by right-clicking on the flash drive's icon found in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Once the progress bar indicates the transfer is complete, choose Eject to safely remove the drive from the computer. Wait for the on-screen prompt indicating that it is safe to pull the drive from the USB port. On a Chrome OS PC, open the Files app or use the keyboard shortcut Shift-Alt-M to open it. You will see the USB on the left pane and a triangle to the right of its name. This is the Eject button. Click on the Eject icon to eject the USB device. Hey, we've come to the end of another lesson, lesson number 9. I'm going to be finishing up with going over some of the cloud storage ideas there. So cloud storage is a way of storing files such as photos, documents, movies, and music onto an internet-based resource. Good examples would be Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, Flickr, and Dropbox. Now Google Drive gives you a set amount of space there, but it doesn't count your files that you've created in there. So if you created Google Docs, Google Sheets, or even Google Slides presentations, and you're saving them in your Google Drive, it doesn't count those files against your storage, which is amazing. So that means you can make as many Google documents as you want and it never counts against you. For Microsoft OneDrive, it gives you 5 gigs of free space there, and you can go with a premium account and you can get a terabyte of space if you needed it. Flickr is really for storing images, but another way to store images that we've talked about in previous lessons is Google Photos, and that's free unlimited storage there for your standard resolution. And your standard resolution is basically actually a high definition resolution when you compare it to what people are using, like on your cell phone or on most cameras. Then you have Dropbox. You can store anything such as programs or other files in your Dropbox and then share it with others. Tips for using cloud storage wisely. 1. You want to have a very good password that includes letters, numbers, and at least one capital letter, and a symbol such as an exclamation mark, a pound. The length of the password should be longer than 14 characters. Number 2, set the attributes to private on photos and videos that you do not want to share with the world. Now this is only true in Flickr. Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive, everything's automatically private and doesn't share anything unless you want to share. Number 4, add your phone number as a recovery phone number just in case you lose your password. Now before we get into the questions for lesson number 9, I want to say a few words about Flickr. Flickr is a place where you can store your images online. You can keep them private or you can share particular pictures with just particular people. Back in April 2018, SmugMug acquired Flickr, and they put an end to Flickr's 1 terabyte free storage plan. Basically, they now allow you to have 1,000 images for free. If you want to go beyond that, you have to go with their Pro version. It's still a great place to store your images and share just the ones that you wish. So let's jump into the questions now. Question number 1. Which company has developed OneDrive? Question number 2. Please name 8 apps that are found within Microsoft's OneDrive. Question number 3. Which OneDrive app checks your email? Question number 4. Which OneDrive app allows for the creation of documents? Question number 5. Which OneDrive app allows for the creation of tasks, appointments, and birthdays? Question number 6. Which OneDrive app allows for the creation of presentations? Question number 7. Which OneDrive app allows for the creation of spreadsheets? Question number 8. What can you store in Flickr? Question number 9. Can files stored in Flickr be made private? Question number 10. Flickr is owned by which company? Question number 11. Can you share specific files with specific people with Flickr? How large is your storage space on Flickr? Question number 13. The USB port named Super Speed is which USB version? Question number 14. The USB port named Low Speed is which USB version? Question number 15. The USB port named High Speed is which USB port version? Question number 16. The USB port named Full Speed is which USB version? Question number 17. The USB port named SuperSpeed Plus is which USB version? Question number 18. The USB 3.0 is how many times faster than USB version 1.1? Question number 19. In which year did USB port 3.0 come out? Question number 20. Microsoft Word is similar to which Google Drive app? Hey, we've come to the end of another lesson. That was the end of lesson number 9 there. Now, if you're new to the channel, I do encourage you to subscribe to the channel here, Soma Teacher 7, and enjoy my other videos about technology and other topics. Hey, and if you like this type of video, please click on thumbs up and share the video. Also, if you have a comment or a question, please leave them down in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much and bye-bye.